So I think we're all accidentally, the three of us so far have gone to the University of York. Um, but here's a little bit of an introduction to what I'm going to be talking about today. So in the winter of 2020, I was finishing my master's in bioarchaeology in the middle of the COVID-19 lockdown. I was looking for ways to stay engaged in the heritage sector, and I was thinking about the beginning of my career, which had just got even more unpredictable and uncertain. So I started looking into online opportunities, and I ended up submitting a blog post for the Heritage Alliance 2020 Heritage Debate, which was on the theme of young people and heritage. So you can see the start of my blog post here. So at the end of the event, the keynote speakers were four young people who've been part of the English Heritage National Youth Participation Programme, Shout Out Loud. I was really intrigued, and I was within the age range at the time, so I decided to get in touch and see if I could get involved. 3 years later, the programme has earned a permanent place as part of English Heritage, and I'm still involved as a member of the Young Producer alumni. Today, I'll be discussing the first project that I had a part on as a young producer and the impact that it had on my career goals and how it felt to have my input valued and respected as a young person starting out in the sector. So to start off, I'd like to introduce you to Shout Out Loud. Initially, and when I got involved to start with, Shout Out Loud was part of the the National Lottery Heritage Fund's Kick the Dust programme of youth engagement. Kick the Dust aimed to make heritage more relevant to the lives of young people aged between 11 and 25 and encompassed 12 large-scale projects, which included Shout Out Loud. Shout Out Loud is a national programme for 11 to 25-year-olds, which supports young people in exploring and engaging with heritage sites and collections. Young people are invited to lead and create projects, and particularly to explore previously untold stories. Shout Out Loud also works with other organisations such as the National Youth Theatre, the Young Archaeologists Club, which is part of the Council of British Archaeology, BBC Children's and Sound Connections. Young Producers, which is part of the group that I was part of, are a specific group of young people within Shout Out Loud who are aged between 18 to 25 and help to steer the programme and design projects. So my first project as a young producer began in December 2020. Out at Ranger's House is a project and a tour which explores queer histories through the Wernher Collection and is currently open to the public on site at Ranger's House in Greenwich in London. The project team first met over Zoom on a lockdown on a December evening and consisted of one member of English Heritage staff, which was Nick Collinson, several young producers and a placement student from Goldsmiths University. What was originally intended to be a 6-month project, the release of which would coincide with the 2021 London Pride, actually became part of our lives for the next 18 to 24 months. We selected objects to research, we wrote exhibition and leaflet copy, we selected an artist, Andrew Ahern, to illustrate and design our leaflet, and we consulted with participants from Metro, which is an equality and diversity charity that promotes health, community and youth engagement services across London and the South East. It was really important for us to involve the LGBTQ+ community outside of our team in the production of the tour. So the insights from the Metro participants really helped to reinforce our decisions and also helped us to further develop our interpretations. And a lot of the feedback that they gave us actually influenced the final direction of the tour. The production of Out at Ranger's House was a form of co-creation. Co-creation is a form of design which involves audiences and participants at a fundamental level. Out at Ranger's House fit into the wider Shout Out Loud goals of creating engaging heritage participation for young people. and it succeeded in this goal based on the feedback that we got from Metro Group and from other visitors. But it was also produced by young people. This form of design has huge benefits for organisations, because who knows more about what your audience want than your audience? But what is the impact of this project on participants? This project held a really important place in my heart, in part due to the time that it began. The Rangers House meetings provided vital stability for me in what was an uncertain and difficult time. But the project also helped me to develop important skills for the heritage sector, as well as providing inspiration for my future career. I loved the opportunity to highlight underrepresented heritage. In making this project, I really felt that we'd made something that I would have wanted my teenage self to have. My fellow young producer, Thomas, wrote for the tour leaflet. When I look at these pieces, I feel connected to the queer communities before me that turn to the arts to find and connect with people like them. I find comfort in knowing that queerness has always existed, and power in shouting about those unknown narratives. We also got some amazing feedback from the site manager at Rangers House, who said in particular that one mother was really excited to see that we had a tour that focused on queer history, because she said that one of her children had recently come out as non-binary and had enjoyed learning more, that together they had enjoyed learning more about LGBTQ art history, and that their child would be really happy to read this leaflet at home. And the site manager said that it was one story that made them believe that the leaflet was worth it and it would make someone feel more represented. The project itself was 100% youth-led, but with incredible support from the English Heritage team. Nick chaired our discussions, offered mentorship and his contacts, and let us as young people take the lead. Something that came up a lot in discussions with other young producers was that at no point did we feel like the token young person or the token young people. Rather, we felt like valued and respected members of the team. The really flexible nature of the online volunteering, and also the financial reimbursements for any travel that we undertook as part of the role, improved the accessibility of the project massively. We were creating the project around full-time work, part-time work, studying, and our personal lives. And the majority online and flexible focus is what made that possible. I'm really incredibly proud of what we produced as a team, and the feedback that we received from the site manager made me so happy. I really felt like we'd achieved our goal when I heard this parent's response to the tour. For young people looking to get into heritage, I really recommend looking into getting involved with co-creation projects, as they can be hugely rewarding and also allow you to develop important skills and inspire your future career path. Volunteering can often be inaccessible, but it doesn't have to be. Volunteering should be mutually beneficial for you and for the organisation. I recommend looking into organisations that will reimburse your expenses, and many do. Looking for online voluntary opportunities and local opportunities will also help you find what's right for you. If you're age 16 to 25 at the moment, I would think about signing up as a Shout Out Loud Young Associate. So the links here, which obviously you won't be able to click on, but you should be able to note that down or take a screenshot and search it later. And also from today, the Council of British Archaeology also have a youth advisory board and young associates network that you can apply to join if you're 18 to 25. So there's another link that might be of interest to you. Now, I don't think that we have many organisational representatives here today, but here's my advice for anyone that wants to promote youth engagement and heritage within their organisation. Keep volunteering flexible and financially viable. If you can offer online volunteering, that can be really helpful for young people. And I think projects like Shout Out Loud and Kick the Dust are really good inspirations. And also Kids in Museums has a great guide for setting up a youth panel, which now I don't think the CBA need because you've already done it. So to conclude, being involved in a co-creative youth engagement project has been incredibly beneficial to me, and I believe that we made something really important and impactful. In my time as a young producer, I had the opportunity to work on some excellent projects, speak on panels, and get involved in the production of YouTube and social media content. I don't think we've got time to play this video, but if you look on the Shout Out Loud YouTube channel, there's a couple of videos as well that focus on the New Heritage Youth Summit that happened in June 2022, which really highlighted some of the great projects that came from Kick the Dust. So I just want to say thank you for listening to me today. And if you've got any questions, I'd love to answer them at the end of this session with everyone else. Thank you.